Hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. As mentioned in the previous two videos, we are using recycled coffee mugs, recycled look, recycled tea, but we're in the final stretch. This is the last one in this particular series that needs to be done before con. Anyway, so a reminder that our tea is the Wild Leaf Smart Tea, which I have been enjoying both hot and cold, mostly cold of late. It's still really good. I will say this may be the first time I ever finish a cup of tea on filming. Anyway, like I said, we're in the final stretch, and we're doing my medium to small palettes. Some of these are kind of iffy as to where they fall in there, based again on packaging and on number of colors. On number of colors, some of them would be more in the medium, but based on packaging, some of them are more in the small. So we'll just go with that. I have the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe. Got this in BoxyCharm. Adore this, adore this. I love this. The only color I have any issue with is El Malecon, I guess, and there's a lot of fallout on that one, but a lot of people complained about the mattes. I've never had trouble with the mattes. The colors are just gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette, and it is very pigmented, and I think this company is going to have some, it has its own, it set itself at a very high bar. Again, no primer on my arms. So they're showing up a little patchier than they do on my eyes. They work very well with my eyes. So I really enjoy this palette. I intend to keep it forever. It has the nice bright colors I like, and a few neutrals in there, and it is very, very tropical. So love this palette. It is available, and I do highly recommend it. I'm not sure what the price is, but I do recommend it. Next is one of the very first, in fact, probably the very first high-end palette I owned. My daughter, I didn't have high-end palettes when I was in my 20s. I just bought basically drugstore makeup if I used it at all. But my daughter had bought me a set of brushes, and I ended up saying, you know I can't use these, right? So she bought me the Tarte Energy Noir palette. As you can see, it's very, very neutral. It includes a blush. This was on Project Pan, and I did get to pan it. I do use these two colors for eyelining a lot. The other colors tend to be more neutrally for me, but the pigmentation is great. Even the blush is a really nice color on me. And I do want to keep it because, like I said, this is one that... trying to figure out which way I need to go. One that my daughter got me. You're not going to see that blush. So I do want to keep it. I do enjoy it when I do use it, but the colors tend to be a little too neutral for me. As you can see, they just don't really, the pigmentation is actually very good, especially when I use it on my eyes, but my skin tone just, browns go to my skin to die. I swear they do. But I do enjoy it when I use it, and the colors that I do use for eyelining work very well for that. Something about this particular formula makes it less likely when I'm using the setting spray that I'm going to get a lot of feathering or those kind of issues. So it is a palette that I do use upon occasion, especially for eyelining. I haven't used the blush recently. I may want to do that one of these days. And it is an older palette. It's no longer available, but I do enjoy it when I do use it. I've got so much down here. I think I have more smaller palettes than anything else. I'm going to go with the two palettes I have from Hush. The first one, which needs to have itself cleaned up a little bit. The first one is a gift, is a gift from my friend Nisi. She's a supporter of the channel, and we talk a lot over in another first Facebook group. She got me the After Charge, which is a Bad Habit dupe for something from Huda, I believe, which I don't mind, honestly. I have one Huda palette. I absolutely love it, but I'm not I've got a lipstick from Huda. I've got a lip liner, but those were given to me in bags. I would not purchase from Huda at this point. After the whole beauty bakery thing, I'm a little annoyed with her. But this one is the after charge. And of course, I just lost something. Ah, there it is. As you can see, I have used it. My only complaint about it, obviously there's a lot of kickback. There is also a lot of glitter fallout. That's the only complaint I have. The colors are pigmented. It is beautiful. I have next to no trouble using it. A lot of gorgeous shine on these. And they deepen things up. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Even the colors that go into my skin from my skin tone, I don't know if you can see all that, have the nice shimmer shine. You're not seeing a lot of chunkiness. There's a couple of them that have some chunkiness on it that shows up as fallout on your eyes. But primarily, it's a glitter issue. It's a gorgeous palette. Not getting rid of this ever. I love it, and I really appreciate it, and I'm going to thank Nisi again. Thank you. It's a beautiful palette. I love it. I adore it. The next Bad Habit palette is from Face Candy. It is based on the April Fool's joke that Tarte tried to play, and it ended up being Fool on You because they put out a possible palette and everybody wanted it, and then they went, oh, April Fools. So a whole bunch of other companies decided to do the palette for them. This is gorgeous. This has incredible pigmentation. In fact, I've learned that I have to be very, very careful using this on my eyes. If you go too heavy-handed, it's going to come out way dark. I don't have any patchy problems. I mean, it's just a beautiful palette. It really, really is. I'm going to grab more than one of these. Poor arm. I mean, look at this. There is fallout. There is some fallout. There is a little bit of kickback in the pans, but it's not horrible. You're not going to put your brush in there and end up with a hole or anything of that nature. I'm getting 3 more colors for you guys because these are just beautiful. I mean, just look at those. Look at those. Gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think this was $14. I actually was going to end up buying another one from Face Candy, and I had mentioned it to somebody, and she went, oh, no, 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 you don't want that one. Apparently, the other one that I was looking at had a lot of pigmentation issues, but I'm very, very happy with this one and recommended it. Like I said, I think it's only $14 on there. You do have to buy it on the app. You cannot buy it on the online store. You have to buy it on the app. But gorgeous. Glad I put the money in on it. Gives me blues and greens, which I was really trying to find. I don't think I need any more for a long time. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. So next I'm going to do my Winky Lux palette, also a gift from Tamaray, I believe. And then I'm going to get into a ton of ColourPop palettes. I went ColourPop crazy, I'm telling you guys. Anyway, so yes, I got the Winky Lux palette as a gift as well. No Mirror. Beautiful colors. I actually really like this color story. It has the neutrals. It has some beautiful colors in it. These 2 pinks are amongst my favorite shades. I like the blue. I like this red. I sometimes like this brown to deepen up in the crease. The pigmentation is pretty good. It is not a go-to palette for me, but it is beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Not a lot of fallout with this, but on my skin tone, if it had a lot of fallout, it probably wouldn't show up anyway, because my skin is where these kinds of colors go to die. But I'm telling you, common theme in the last 3 videos, other than all the palettes, is the cats being weird. But anyway, yeah, I really, really love this. And I love all the kitties. I'm a kitty fan, even when they're being weird and crazy. So I do love this. I don't use it as much as I probably should because I've been into really bright colors of late, and this tends to be more on the neutral side, but I do enjoy it when I do use it. It does have, I mean, it has the beautiful red, and it has pinks that I enjoy using. For some reason, normally I like a pink or a brighter beigey, yellowy color underneath my brow, and this has those perfect colors. So I really love this, and yeah. It's not a go-to, but it is something that I enjoy when I do use it. Honestly, it's hard to have anything in my collection be a go-to because it is so dang big. So, ColourPop. Wow. All right. So, I got, this is the Semi-Precious. This came in a boxy charm. It's all shimmers. It's beautiful. I love these colors. Especially these rosy colors, although the blue is pretty too. Pretty. ColourPop, and that one didn't swatch well, but they do come up really nice on my skin. Beautiful colors, beautiful colors, all shimmers. Another one that I don't use a lot, but these are very, if you look at them, they're really high shine shimmers. Most of them, this one up here and this one, are not nearly as shiny as these, but a lot in this palette is like this. So I don't use it as much as I probably would if the high shines were more of a satiny shimmer rather than a brilliant shimmer. I can talk. I'm telling you, it's the end of the day and I'm just trying to get through the last of this. But I'm enjoying it, and yeah, it's another palette I recommend. I actually don't even need to say it. I recommend most anything from ColourPop that doesn't have an influencer attached to it that you have a problem with. But yeah, I do enjoy the ColourPop. I also got the Make Up Your Mind. I actually got this one for free. Again, it's high shimmers. I got this one for free when I purchased so much. And trying to figure this out. Again, it is pretty much high shimmers. This is one of the few silvers I've had that's actually worked on my skin fairly well, and stayed silver. A lot of silvers. As you can see, that thing is just shining away. This one actually has better pigmentation than that. I think it's just the way it got swatched. But it is a nice little palette. It's another palette that I use more for accent. So if I want a silver, this is a silver I can go to as long as I want it that bright. If I need something darker in my crease when I'm wearing greens, I can use this one and still get that nice shine. The purple is a little on the lighter side. The yellow would have worked well over this stuff. So in fact, I think I did use the yellow over this stuff. But yeah, this is one of those nice support palettes with, it's not really so much a color story, it's just having a nice variety of colors that you can use and you can mix in with other palettes that you're using. The next small one I have from ColourPop is their Pretty Much palette. Now this is pressed pigments. This is not your standard eyeshadows. This is one of the first smaller ones that I got, and I can't remember if I purchased it or if it was a gift. I honestly can't remember. Probably purchased it. It does have some mattes, and it does have some shiny stuff. You can see that I have used some of them, I think. I don't use it frequently, but it has, I'm going to run out of room on my arm. It has colors that I enjoy. And again, it has a pretty great pigmentation. And I went way around. I'm going to have to come back the other way. So, another one that I recommend, the pigments have, the thing about pigments is they tend to be more pigmented than the regular eyeshadows. So if you are a beginner or you're uncomfortable with a lot of pigmentation and you aren't sure if you're going to be able to control it, because one of the keys with pigments is learning how to control and go lighter if you want to, or darker if you want to. That's one of the really beauties of pigments, is that if you're careful enough, you can make them go lighter. But pigments, if you're not that comfortable with a lot of color, and you're not that comfortable with something that's going to go on really dark, pigments you may want to wait on until you are, just because there's just so much pop in a pigment. Two more of the ColourPops. So the next one is one that they just recently discontinued, and that's the My Little Pony palette. This is the palette I wanted from BoxyCharm. And I didn't get it. I got semi-precious. I'm fine with that. I ended up liking the semi-precious, but this one had all the colors that I really wanted. I've really been into a lot of colors lately, a lot less neutrals, and I have found this to be on par with the rest of the ColourPop stuff. It has some gorgeous, gorgeous colors in it, and I really enjoy using it. Because of all the colors, it does tend to be a more of a support palette. I think I only have one problem with one color in here, and I've actually put it on here. So let's do this. Oops. But yeah, you can see that this purple just doesn't show up on me as well, but the rest of them are really, really pretty colors, and they're gorgeous. Same kind of thing. They have astounding pigmentation. Good quality. I'm actually kind of disappointed that they discontinued it, because I know a lot of people wanted it. May still have some stock on the site. I think the last time I looked, though, they were finally gone, but they were like half off for a while. My last ColourPop one is the Element of Surprise. I used my BoxyCharm points for this, so I didn't pay for it, and I didn't have to pay for shipping. This is a bit more neutral than I tend to buy nowadays. I really love this pink. I haven't used the maroon much. The lighter color actually comes up on me slightly, I don't know, different color than what it shows in the pan. But overall, this is another one of those palettes that I would keep, because it has a couple of colors that I really enjoy, but it's primarily neutrals. And since I do not have a neutral heavy collection, having this kind of palette in it is a good thing to have. Plus, I got it for free, pretty much. I mean, you know, I reviewed stuff, and that's what I did. It's a nice mix of mattes and shimmers. The colors are very pretty. Again, some of the lighter colors and the browns don't show up on my skin so well, but there you go. Same quality of pigmentation that ColourPop usually has. If this is still available, I do recommend it if you're looking for something that has just a pop of color and you want more neutrals. This was also part of Tarte's Christmas collection, like my big treasure box that you guys saw in the big palettes that I own. And I love the packaging, and I know a lot of people complained about how they set these up, but these colors are colors that I was enjoying at the time. I was just starting to get into color, so the neutrals didn't stop me. If I was looking at this now, I probably would not purchase it, because there are so many neutrals. But at the time, I was using and looking at a lot of neutrals, and I really loved the bubble layout. And I think this is their Under the Sea, Hidden Under the Sea palette, and I like the way it was set up. And I love this burgundy and this pink. And again, Tarte quality on the shadows I don't have a problem with for the most part. I just have a problem with some of the stuff that they've done recently with other stuff. A couple of these you're not going to see because of my skin tone, but in all honesty, they do actually, yeah, it's not going to show up as well. Like this one practically blends into my skin. This is what I mean by browns go to my skin to die. And this one is a little on the light. And this one actually has a shimmer to it. It's something I would use over something in the center of my lid to give my center of my lid a little bit of pop. But overall, I will say, it is not a favorite palette. I do enjoy it when I use it. I don't use it very frequently. It is a palette that I probably should try to use more often. When I do use it, I do enjoy it. It takes a little building because the colors don't quite mesh with my skin. well, or they mesh too much with my skin. I believe this is one of the palettes that finally made me go, oh, I shouldn't wear so many browns. So I don't buy so many browns anymore. Honestly, even if you learn something from a palette that you didn't expect, it's a good thing. The next one was shown in my medium palettes, and that's the Smashbox Cover Shot Ablaze, another palette that I really enjoy. This one I tend to put in with my Naked Heat palette. It has very complementary tones. Which way do I want to go on my arm? I want to go this way on my arm. Couple of colors, again, because they're more neutrally, and we're coming up a little patchy right now. Again, no primer. But it works beautifully. I should have gone the other way. It works beautifully as a support palette to the Naked Heat. It's another palette that I really enjoy. There's a couple of other of the cover shots I probably wouldn't mind, but I will say, while I don't have a problem with the pigmentation, obviously there was some patchiness. It shows up differently on your eyes. Why I don't have problems with the pigmentation, yes, there were some others that I looked at and thought were pretty, but I'm not sure I would jump out and buy them. I did have the Brights one for a while, but like a lot of bright palettes, the colors on that just died on my skin. And I don't know if that was a pigmentation issue. A lot of people have said that the cover shots don't have great pigmentation. I don't have a problem with this one on my eyes. But with the bright palette that they had, the rainbow or whatever, and I think that one's discontinued anyway. But with that one, I did have problems with that one on my eyes. So, yeah, like this in conjunction with my Naked Heat. Not sure I would buy any more of these unless it was something really outstanding in terms of color story. This next one I picked up to try some Makeup Revolution makeup. I got the Sofa X with that. I ended up giving that one to my daughter because there was just way too many browns in it. Had a beautiful duochrome green to red, but that wasn't a reason to keep the whole palette, so I gave it to my daughter. And this one is the No Photos Please. I do not use this very often, but the colors are beautiful. I didn't have any problems with the pigmentation. One of my complaints about Makeup Revolution, though, is that they put the colors on their these little plastic sheets. I would really rather they were on the back or underneath, or if they... Anyway. The colors in this, I love this mix of colors in here. I don't recall having any problems with pigmentation in general. The other issue I think I had with this, and this is a palette that might end up going to somebody else at some point, like this light purple isn't showing up. But the other problem I had with this was like a $2 palette, so I'm not going to, if I give it away, it's not going to be a big deal. But I don't like these narrow pans, really, at all. Love the colors. Like I said, I love these colors. They don't perform well on the swatching, but they perform well on my eyes. Just not a fan of this and the narrow pans, honestly. I think they could have done this in a different way. I do love the packaging on it, but I'm not sure if I want to be keeping this one. We'll have to see in the future if this ends up in my Project Beauty Share or something. Just, it's an okay palette. The colors are okay. The colors are what caught me on this, and it just, the way it's set up just does not encourage me to use it. So the next three I picked up as samples from, can't remember the name of the website. I will add it to, it'll be over here somewhere. But I got them for about $1 or $2 a piece as samples to try things out. So I got the Profusion Pearl eyeshadows. There's only one place to find them. These are a long, old, I think this is an older discontinued palette of theirs, and that's why it was on that site. And these colors are pretty much along the quality of the other ones of theirs that I have. So great pigmentation. Again, they show up better on my actual eyes than they are. I haven't used this one too much. You can see it's going to have a lot of fallout when I do. It's not one I reach for very often, but I do like it when I do. The colors are gorgeous. I love this kind of color. I do think they could have gotten rid of, you know, one of these pinks and put in a green. That's the only thing that's really missing in here is a green, but maybe a yellow. But honestly, it's a beautiful shimmery palette. Again, another small one that I use upon occasion. The next two I'm not really going to swatch because they don't swatch well, and that's the NYC individual eye palettes. These really do not swatch well. They perform better on the eyes than they do. I swatched these when I did the haul with them and was really, really disappointed. But I have since found that they actually work fairly well on the eyes. They particularly work well with the primer base and the illuminator that they include. These two are cream products. These are your shadows. These two seem to really bring out these colors very, very well. Haven't gotten to the point where I'm going to review these yet. I do plan to review them. I do not know if I'm going to keep them after I review them. However, like I said, they do work well on the eyes. They don't swatch very well, but the colors are a little bit duller than what I expected them to be when I ordered them. And both of these palettes are very, very similar, so I'd probably end up just keeping one of them if I did. So next we have a palette that my daughter got me, my middle daughter, the one who got me the Tarte Energy Noir, got me for Christmas. And that is the Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions. This is a beautiful palette. We had seen it in the store, and I got to swatch that yellow, and that yellow is amazing. Amazing. Okay, I put that in the wrong place. I'm gonna put it on the other side. It's an amazing color. It really is. It's gorgeous. It shows up on my eyes well. My biggest complaint is probably this red that doesn't come up red. It's more of a mix between a fuchsia and a red. It's more pink than red. But beyond that, I do like the other colors. There is some kickback. There is some fallout. It's the shim as whoa, that one didn't show up. Okay, that's why. There we go. The colors are beautiful. The price on this, I can't remember. It's still available at Sephora, I know. But I wouldn't repurchase it just because of all her crap with Beauty Bakery. But beyond that, I do enjoy this. This was my first really bright, colorful palette that actually worked on my skin. For most of my other bright, colorful palettes, I had issues to getting them to actually work on my skin. I had one from NYX that was their brights, and they just, I don't know what it is about my skin tone. I had that one. I had one from, I believe, Urban Decay. I just had several that just, I was hunting for bright palettes for a while there, and it just wasn't working. So this is the first one that actually worked on my skin, and I really, really do like it. Like I said, after the stuff with Huda and, with Beauty Bakery, and the fact that I now have a ton of other bright palettes, I probably wouldn't repurchase it. Okay, so 3 more, and we're done. And the first one is the Full Throttle Bossy palette. This is a quad. I actually had 2 of these, and I wasn't using the other one, so I gave the other one to Project Beauty Share. There's no mirror in here, but this is, again, these are colors that I enjoy. I think the only one I haven't used is this one here, this kind of light, almost peachy color. But the other ones I have used on my eyes and as part of my I'm running out of room. But there's that. drugstore quality. This is one of their older palettes. So yes, it's drugstore quality, but I get it to work well on my eyes, and the colors are gorgeous when I do use it. But I've noticed that I seem to get things to work that other people say can't work. So, but it's a nice little quad to have, and it's very basic, and it's something you can throw in your purse and have with you in case you want to freshen up or do something different in the middle of the day, or you have to run out the door and you're not going to have time to do anything until you have a break later. It's a nice little quad. It has everything you pretty much need. It has something kind of in the mid-range. It has something, for under the brow or for your transition shade. And it got you got a bright and something dark for your crease. So it's a nice palette. My next NYX palette is the NYX Cosmic Metals. I actually picked this up. I've had several NYX palettes. I'm going to say this. I've had several NYX palettes, and I've generally enjoyed most of them. I did end up giving a lot of them to Project Beauty Share or to one of my daughters because I realized that I had a lot of duplicate colors, stuff that I already had. There wasn't much innovative. And I gave one of them my Mochi palette because, that one actually requires that you use a sponge or your fingers, and I just found it very aggravating to work with. Colors are in there and beautiful, but it was not a palette that I was particularly happy with. So I gave that away to a child. And then I've just had a number of smaller, they have a lot of small ones like this, and I've had a number of them that I ended up giving up. I gave a friend of mine my California palette because there was only 2 colors in there I was even using. You have palettes that you enjoy what you use out of them, but you don't use enough to keep them, and that's what was going on with these. And then I wanted to do a NYX brand review and realized I didn't have a lot of NYX products. So I got some more NYX products, and that's the story of how I got the Cosmic Metals. I was looking for something to add to my collection as part of a possible brand review. I don't know if that's going to happen now because money will go there. But this has some really pretty colors and some decent pigmentation. Got all of them but one. And it has beautiful shine. So even if something doesn't show up in terms of color because of my skin tone, let me grab this last one. It does show up because of shine. Whoop. I pressed pretty hard there. There is some fallout. There's no kickback in the pan. I do like this one. I do intend to keep this whether I end up reviewing it or not. It wasn't that expensive. I do recommend it if you're interested in something that has some neutral colors that have more of a shimmer or a shine to them. It is a really good palette for that. And my last palette, you're going to see little dark dots on it. And the reason you're going to see dark dots on it is because I got it in conjunction with another one that was supposed to be a dupe for the Modern Renaissance. And when you see it, you're going to understand why I don't wear it that much. And that is the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette in Warm Neutrals. I will admit, these are some pretty colors. I don't use this. And eventually, I'm going to give it away. Maybe after this video, because I don't use this. Or actually, I'll probably hang on to it because, like I said, I'm thinking about doing a NYX review. I don't have any problems with the pigmentation. And it may indeed be a decent dupe for the Modern Renaissance. But it's browns. And other than a few that have a shimmer to them, they don't do anything on my skin. It's another one of those palettes that I've kind of go, why did I pick this up? Oh yeah, I was trying to get a Modern Renaissance dupe, and this is what it was. So these are, I will say that these Ultimate palettes, considering my experience with the, I think the Brights one that they had, they don't have the best pigmentation. I mean, Look at the difference. They are older palettes, I believe, so they don't have the best pigmentation, but they're okay. Like I said, my biggest problem with this is it probably wouldn't matter if it was really well pigmented. It's browns, and brown goes to my skin. My skin is where browns go to die. So not one that I'm going to use very often, but one that I'll probably hang on to for now until I decide whether or not I'm going to do the NYX brand review. But beyond that, yeah, it's browns, guys. It's browns. It's an okay palette. I wouldn't... You can find other neutral palettes that have better pigmentation. This is okay. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Alrighty then. I hope that my Ipsy girls are really, really pleased now that they've gotten to see all but one of my palettes. And the only reason they haven't seen the one palette is because it's still on its way. And that's my makeup. What the hell are you guys doing? Sorry. It's my Makeup Monsters Dragon Child palette. So that's everything for now. I do have other palettes that one day I would like to pick up. I'm in no rush for any of them except for one from Violet Voss, probably, that I really, really want. Their rainbow palette is gorgeous looking. I really, really want it. But it's going to have to wait. Hope you enjoyed seeing all those. Like I said in the first video, I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, I know who it is. I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, like I said, I hope this was not intended to come off as me bragging. This was because it was requested. Some ladies wanted to see my palette collection, and there it is in 3 videos. Hope you ladies are pleased. And with that, we are done, and hopefully I will see you the Monday after this with a new video. Thank you, Sora. They're getting impatient. And I gotta go because I know my husband's waiting for me to finish so that he can do dinner. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and that you will go ahead and subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, and that you will hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted to when I upload. But you don't have to subscribe. It would be a disappointment, but you don't have to subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, I do hope that we will see you again. And when we do, if you do come by again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Last time, buddy, let's drink it down. Done and gone. You have a good day. Bye.